What's up, guys? It is MD Investor again. We're coming back with another video. This is a channel where we talk about personal finance, setting goals, achieving goals, increasing our financial IQ so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. We're coming to you from a different location, within the backyard, right? It's a nice day. Today's going to be a continuation in the series of financial advice for the different decades. We did financial advice for your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Check those out on the channel. Today is going to be financial advice for your 50s. If it's your first time, welcome. If you're regular, you already know. So your 50s is a decade where you can be in one of two situations. This is the way I look at it. You can be in a situation where you've been investing and living below your means and saving, and they compound interest for 3 decades has been working for you, and you're sitting pretty, reaping the harvest, right, for all the years of work. Or the other category is you've been working, paying bills, but not really paying yourself, not really looking for your future, and there's been nothing to compound, and you realize you're 50 and you have nothing. But we don't want to depress you, we just want to inspire you and motivate you. If you're in the latter category and you have nothing, this is the decade where you got to get serious. You have to get serious. You're no longer a teenager. You have more years of work behind you than in front of you. So it's time to buckle down and get serious. You may have children that are older, adults basically, and so you may have less expensive for child care because you don't have that anymore. Private school, you don't have that anymore. So there's an opportunity for you to invest that money. That was, that basically you're saving. You can cut your standard of living, live below your means. Maybe that big house you don't need anymore because the kids are not there. You're by yourself. You can downsize, go to a smaller apartment. That big car that you pay an X amount of money per month, you don't need it anymore. Sell it, or don't lease it, or don't renew the lease, and get a more modern car, buy it in cash, and drive that sucker till the wind falls. Like, you have to get drastic, basically. This is what you have to do. You have to get drastic. All the expensive vacation and clothes and all that stuff you don't need, get rid of it. And because you only have, if you're 50 and you have zero, and traditional retirement is 65, you have 15 years in which you make your money to grow. You don't have a lot of time. And the money you're putting at age 50 have 15 years to work, but the money you put in at age 51 only has 14 years. And the later you put the money in, the less time that money has to work. So there's no time to play around. So that's right. Number one, get serious, live below your means, and lower your expenses. Number two, invest. We have said it, it's like a broken record. We've said it. You have to start investing. Open your brokerage account. Right? You may be 50 and don't have one. Open your brokerage account. Really begin to look at open brokerage account. Start investing in the S&P 500 index or total stock market index. Make it automatic so the money's coming out automatically and going in and working for you. This would be a good opportunity, opportune time as well to look into your employer-sponsored 401k and make sure it is as efficient as it could be. Make sure you're putting the money in to at least get the minimum. Correct. To at least get the match. So put at least the minimum in to get the match from your employer, because that's free money. So lower your expenses. Begin to really fund your retirement, making sure you're maxing out your contribution to whether you're the 401k or your Roth IRA. If you don't have one, open an IRA. Open a Roth IRA, okay? Or traditional. The Roth IRA, obviously, it'll go in, without paying taxes. Correction, you pay the tax up front, and then it'll grow tax-free. Or you can do the traditional IRA, where you basically pay the taxes. So you get a tax deferment, but then you have to pay tax later on. Because you're 50, you're able to put in what they call a catch-up contribution. So with the 401k, you can put in under 50, maybe about 18,000. But with the, you can check my numbers to make sure I'm right, but with the, after 50, you can put in, I think, $6,000 more. So instead of 18,000, you can put in 24,000 with the, because of the catch-up contribution. But the government realized retirement than the other person that give them some additional money to put in. But the government never take care of you. With the IRA, it's $6,000 under 50, and then an extra $7,000 if you're 50 or more. Take advantage of that. If you're 50 and you have not begun to save for your children's retirement, I would say put that on the back burner. Focus on yourself. It sounds selfish, but it's smart. Because if you don't focus on yourself and you put all your money into your kids 5 through 9, and you end up being broke, those same kids are going to have to take care of you when you're older, delaying their wealth building process. It's just like when you're on an airplane. In case of a change in cabin pressure, oxygen mask will come from the ceiling. First put the oxygen over yourself, and then assist someone next to you. Because without oxygen, you'll pass out, and you'll be unconscious, and you'll be no good to anybody else. Just like if you can't stand on your own feet financially, you're going to be a burden to your kids. So your kids have options. They can get a scholarship, they can get a grant, they can go to a community college and then transfer into a 4-year college. They can get college loan, they can do work study. There's a lot of options your kids have. But the last time I checked, there's no grants, there's no scholarship, and there's no loans for retirement. So focus on yourself. This is in your 50s is also a good time to start looking at long-term care insurance. A lot of people sometimes getting the issues, problems like chronic illnesses, and they have to go to nursing home, which is very expensive. Assisted living and all these things, and they're very expensive. 10, 12, 15, $20,000 a month will deplete even the largest nest egg. So your 50s is probably the last decade where you can get affordable long-term care insurance. If you wait another decade in your 60s, it's going to be much more expensive. But you'll probably end up developing some medical problems that's going to preclude you or increase your premium. Okay? So long-term care is something you want to start thinking about. As well as estate planning. In your 50s, there's a time for you to start thinking about estate planning, right? You have this, all these assets you want to transfer to the next generation, but you don't want to dump all this money in the lap of a 18, 19, 20-year-old kid and they'll blow it, which you took a lifetime to amass. So a trust would be great. So speak to an elder care attorney or estate planning attorney, and they'll give you the ins and outs of a power of attorney, healthcare proxy, all these things, right? Which is very important. Begin to start thinking about it. So like I said, this video is basically just to kind of have you think, what position am I in? If I'm in the first position and everything's been going great, continue to do what you're doing. If you're in the second position and you have nothing, don't get scared or intimidated. Just realize that time is limited and I can't waste it. Let me start the process, what I didn't do, let me start it now. And also it may motivate you to say, okay, you know what? If I can get a part-time job, get some extra hours, that'll be more money for me too. Not waste, but to put in the market to begin to work for me. So again, guys, this is the MD Investor. This is another video to increase our financial IQ so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. If there's people out there you think could benefit, let them know about the MD Investor. And don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you. And this is the MD Investor out, and I will catch you on the next one. Until next time, continue to command your money to grow.